Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Emus here with a brand new video for you guys today. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're all feeling good. It's feeling good because your boy is back with a video for you guys today. In today's video, we're going to be doing a reaction to Inception's rant. Now, when it comes to my reactions, I do tend to put the speed up pretty high, so we're not taking forever to do these reactions. At the same time, I will be editing out certain things depending on certain things. So if you want to see the full video in its entirety and its full speed, always go watch the original video. The first link in the description box below will be the link to this video. It's touching a lot to say. It's an hour-long rant. We'll jump right in here. Hopefully we can edit it down to a point where it's not 2 hours for us, because I do yap a lot when it comes to my reactions. It's reactions for me aren't really watching someone else's content. It's more so me leaving a comment for their video through a video response, essentially. And I don't want to like leave a 2-paragraph, 3-paragraph long response on an Inception video. So let's get into this and see what Inception has to say.
Things in life, because the focus, for me was like doing the content creation things. Because here's the thing, guys, for me, it was more like a pride thing. I like to just post content that I want to post while getting a viewership. People take my content the wrong way because, guys, I don't know if you guys watched that video with FaZe Jev talking about like whether he's included or not in like the FaZe community as like a member in that community, right? But he mentioned exactly what my mindset is, where it's like he posts what he wants to post, and if it gets an audience, great, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I feel the same way, right? You think I don't understand?
So that thought process, something that I talk about a lot on my Twitch stream, and I call it the Tarantino and Russo brother mindset. Both directors were asked this question. They both had kind of similar answers when it comes to both the Russo brothers and Tarantino. They were asked in interviews, about negative feedback for their films and the reaction to, negativity that they receive. And all three of them, the Russo brothers and Tarantino, gave similar answers of they make content that they want to watch, content that they love, and content that they enjoy. And they understand that they can't please everyone, so they don't try to please everyone. They just try to make the best content they can that they themselves will want to see and want to watch. If people love it, that's great. If people don't, again, you can't please everyone. I say the same thing about my own content. I make content that I want to watch. I'll give people my comment section sometimes who are trying to critique and give advice on how I should do things around here. And it's like, this is my channel. If you don't like the way I make my videos, go watch someone else. I don't make a dime playing this game. I'm making a dime uploading videos to this channel. This is a sport channel. It's supposed to be IRL sports and video game sports, but FC has kind of just taken over for it. I have no issue not uploading FC to this channel. I have no issue if the videos don't get a decent number of videos. I just upload just to upload it. It's more about out of passion, more so than there's a goal here to make money off FC content. There's not. I just do it because I'm a yapper. I want to talk about the game. And if I want to talk about the game, I might as well lend some advice and some tips and just show you guys what's going on as well, in case you want to be entertained by it. And for some people out there, it's not a lot. Some people, they are entertained by what I do. But just in general, because like what he's saying, you can't please everyone. It just so happens that he is a successful creator in this community, so he does make money from it.
And the content creation side of things nowadays is completely based off of doing share play content, which I'm not going to stream this game because I do not like it, right? And then it's also based off of the fun concept videos, which that one's fine, because the fun concept videos, you got to respect, because people can come up with like different things and do some really cool videos, right? That one's for sure. But the other one is like the main content that you have to produce to make content, because the live SBC stuff sucks. The gameplay is one of the worst ever. And then the way that you did your gameplay game modes, which I have talked about ever since you changed them to be the way that it is right now, with the way that you did formations, roles, and playstyles and all this kind of stuff, it's all terrible, okay? Let's get started from the gameplay perspective, right? The gameplay, I can stop the video just by saying this one thing, and I don't need to say anything else, okay? You guys already know what I'm going to say, but this year it's even worse, because now it's two things, okay? Inconsistent gameplay makes every iteration of FIFA and FC a terrible video game. You guys are nostalgic. You guys go back to FIFA 21, FIFA 20, FIFA 19, FIFA 18, FIFA... It doesn't matter what FIFA it is. They have never fixed that issue, which makes the game terrible. And this is mainly for the console perspective, because I've had to switch to PC, because if I had to continue doing content on the console version with this new built-in lag delay that exists on the console, I would have absolutely lost my mind, okay? I started...
So the key thing he said there is built-in lag delay. A lot of people don't understand the concept of the delay being intentional. I've often told this to JFC in his comments that the lag delay that happens in this game, the delay, is an intentional thing from EA. Why does it exist? It exists in the same reason, in the same way that lag comp exists in FPS games. But those who don't know what lag comp is, lag compensation is essentially an intentional input into the game to punish those with good internet so people with bad internet can keep up. because there's always going to be a connection advantage when it comes with having better internet. So in order to make it more balanced, there's lag comp to make it so it just helps out people who have bad internet be able to actually compete and get kills with people who have good internet. This isn't an uncommon thing. A lot of games do things where they intentionally have mechanics in the game to allow worse players or people with inferior technology to keep up. One of the ones is flinch mechanic. Most FPS games, not all, but most FPS games have a flinch mechanic. This is a very common in Call of Duty. The flinch mechanic exists to allow the person who got shot to fight back. So let's say we're playing Call of Duty and I shoot you from behind and you shoot back. It only works if you shoot back. So if I shoot you and I don't insta kill you, you turn around and shoot back, you hit my character will flinch because the game wants you to have a chance to fight back. So the key to avoid the flinch mechanic is make sure if you shoot someone from behind that they don't get a chance to fight back. Another one is another intentional mechanic was in Halo. We actually got rid of it at the player feedback, but it was gun jamming. In Halo Infinite, for example, if you are using the BR or the bandit and you're firing too frequently, you're just spraying with your bandit, because Halo's all about precision. So you want to pace your shots, not just rapidly fire with a bandit or with a BR. So the game will have your gun jam or shoot blanks, kind of to punish you for spraying your a weapon like the bandit or like the BR. Some other games have mechanics as well that's literally meant to be in there. I've seen developer videos talk about the intention to have these mechanics in there to help out lesser skilled players keep up with better skilled players. It's very, very common in battle royales. A lot of RNG mechanics in battle royales, and all of that exists in FC as well when it comes to an intentional delay, because the goal here is to try to help people who are suffering stay in the game. So let's say I upload a gameplay and I should have a guaranteed goal, but my player takes forever to take that shot. That's an intentional delay because the game wants the other player to have a chance to fight back. It's kind of like, why does keep movement exist? It's a bailout mechanic. Movement for keepers exists to help out as a last ditch effort when someone plays bad defense.
Road to Glory series this year that did not last a long time, and it's not really worth me posting, to be honest with you, because of that lag delay. And you know what? It still exists because every single time I had to do an icon review where I have the 5-game loans, and I'm like, oh no, I don't have enough footage for the 5-game loan, so now I have to go on the console to use the other loan for 5 more games or whatever it is, right? Every single time I've hopped on the console, I'm like, how does this have an audience, brother? How does this have an audience? The gameplay core mechanics aside, which we're going to talk about, right? The gameplay core mechanics aside, how is this being played? Now you have inconsistent gameplay, which some of you still don't understand what that is, right? Because the best version of gameplay is actually pretty solid, but with the core mechanics nowadays that exist, give me good gameplay in FIFA 15 and I will retire happy, right? With a body feint nerf. But inconsistent gameplay, but now a new lag delay. If you guys watch my Road to Glory videos from the beginning of the year, almost every single title is this delay is going to drive me nuts. And I was stressing. I'm like, in the beginning of the year, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to create content on this. This is actual unplayable garbage. Inconsistent gameplay with lag delay? What are we talking about, right? And then let's talk about the beginning of this year, up until that one patch where they made an attacking AI change that at least made the game enjoyable if you actually use different formations, not the meta stuff that does the same thing over and 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 over again, right? We had a bunch of years for the new gen version of this game where I always told people this is a nothing game, right? Because the way that you are attacking, the way that you are defending is not skill based, okay? Things are being done for you, right? In the past, it was direct passing as a tactic, right? You have removed direct passing as a tactic, but you did not remove the soul of direct passing because that same playstyle is still the main way that you attack in the game nowadays, right? You're at a point in the game right now, right? Where you're releasing these evolutions as if we're back in the older FIFA games where roles and playstyles aren't relevant. You have made such an incredibly high meta-based game to do the most basic attacking plays, by the way, that you're releasing evos that are massively getting disliked by the community on a consistent basis because from what it looks like, what you're trying to do here is abide to the casual players that don't know any better, that just look at the stats and they don't really look at playstyles as much, and you're just trying to squeeze as much money as possible out of them before the next game comes out because we have 4 months left of this game. Might as well be the last 2 weeks of this game with no content with what we have been getting so far this year from a gameplay perspective, from an SPC.
I feel like this video might have been recorded before the 500k Evo, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know if I saw him below or not, but I'm pretty sure if he saw the 500k Evo, he probably would have laughed his ass off at the 500k Evo because it makes cards that aren't even as good as 20k cards in the market.
Perspective, from an everything perspective, the promos have all been garbage, right? The best promo this year was the Team of the Year. Winter Wildcard, listen to what I'm telling you guys, okay? Winter Wildcard, they gave you SBCs, but those cards weren't even that crazy because this game is so meta nowadays that you need what they dropped during Team of the Year to be able to play this game normally, to do normal passes, to do normal dribbles, right? And then they still even further go down this manipulation path, right? Because it's like, okay, some people are brainwashed. I had fun playing FIFA 19. You had fun being a brain dead moron? You had fun. What, that game shouldn't even be on your tier list. If it's on your tier list, you are an idiot. You guys are a disgrace. Disgrace. A lot of you guys, I'm telling you, you're brainwashed because I play this game, right? And very rarely do I face people that actually play football, right? One thing I can't blame you for if you do this, because in the new gen version of the
Oh, I would say this. A lot of people when they talk about older games, there's a lot of nostalgia in that in those kind of comments because they haven't played those games recently. I know you can't really go back and play FIFA 19 online, but you know, in general, it's more of they're going off a memory that they had that dictates them saying that, oh, this game was that good. On my live stream, I do a replay of Halo every single year, like all the Halo games. I do a Mass Effect as well, so I'm constantly like, you know, replaying, you know, my favorite games from back in the days. When I talk about Halo, talk about Mass Effect, you know, they're not from nostalgia goggles, it's from recently because, you know, I've played them recently. But for a lot of people, they don't go back and play those older games. They don't have the actual recent memory of how those games were and how they played. So you just kind of like, you just reach and like, okay, this was better than that. Like, I guarantee you, in about 4 years, not even, maybe 3 4 years, maybe even 3 years, you'll hear people going, FC24 was the last good FC game. But if you play FC24, you remember that the people were saying this is the worst the FC game. You know, there will be a time, even with this game, there'll be a time, you know, where people are like, S25 was so much better. It was, you know, one of the best ones. You know, that's going to happen because people have they have nostalgia goggles. There's also like just recency bias, but for like in a negative way, where it's like whatever the current game is what you hate. This is a common thing in all sport games, where it's like you just hate the current game.
game, because it is a nothing game. This part I cannot blame you for, but these goals that you score are not skills because the game's attacking AI is working for you specifically for this one. And you guys will see it. I posted a 4-2-3-1 before this video. You'll see when I like, well, typical meta goal. Whenever I say that, I hate it with a passion because it is the main way of attacking, right? We're gonna be blind for 2 seconds, but I don't want to do a dark mode for this, okay? But you know where the attacking skill in this game comes from, right? And it's funny because I've mentioned this so many times in the past from previous years, so many times. And it's so funny because there was 1 year specifically that I remember to this day where I made a rant specifically about this playstyle because of direct passing, which is still the soul of direct passing, still exists in this game because of how these players attack. And it was so funny because I made that video and then I faced way more people that did that specific thing. Skill, when people talk about skill in this game, first of all, throw your opinion.
That's funny. He said that he made the video talking about it and then he faced more people doing it. That's how this community reacts. When he talks about the things he talks about, the community doesn't go, oh, I shouldn't do that. They go, oh, I'm going to do that. So one of the things, for those who know, I play a lot of FPS games. In R6, we have a lot of cheaters. Some people will refuse to show you any, like people doing cheating. They will refuse to show you any glitches because they know for a fact that the community will just copy it. Like whenever there's a glitch going on, what operators are like, how you can do certain things, people will be like, there's a glitch going on right now. I'm not going to show you it because I don't want y'all copying it. Same thing comes here. And especially when I do a video talking about this is ratty, this is trash, this doesn't require skill, and people will go, I'm gonna do all that. But I'm gonna comment in your comments as if I don't. I'm gonna comment in the comments saying like, yeah, all that stuff is garbage. I agree with you on such 100%. And then in gameplay, go do the exact same thing. And even when it comes to like skill, kind of have like a mini rant on my live stream talk about this when it comes to FC, where it's like, you know, there's an illusion in this game that this game doesn't take skill. And what does take skill is not what people think it is. In my opinion, scoring goals is easy. You know, because if you just do some ratty shit, you'll get a goal. If you just spam a mechanic, you'll get a goal. Be it finesse shots, low drivens, trivelas, power shots, no matter what it is. If you spam them, you will eventually score. Like you'll probably miss some, but you will still eventually score. You know? And it's not hard to get to a score position. You can just, you know, do one-time through balls, just pace to the end, you know, all the way up here, then do a cutback, score a goal. Like it's not hard. You can do so many cheesy shit to get a goal. What is a showing of skill is individual things like pass selection, shot selection, you know, player marking, you know, reading the field is a skill. You know, passing is a skill. You know, knowing what kind of pass to do, knowing that this is before that pass, knowing how much power to put on that pass, all that is a skill. You know, if you're someone who's doing a pass, let's say you're playing rush and you do a pass and your teammate has to slow down to receive your pass, that was a bad pass. Don't hit nice because they didn't get the ball or because they lost the ball when they did get it. They had to slow down, which allowed the Indies players to get to them, which made them lose the ball. You know, if you're playing rush and you do lacrosse or something like that, it's like, well, if you did a normal A pass, it would have been a better pass selection and it would have led to your teammate scoring a goal. He did a cross, which allowed for the opposing team to cover up that ground to get there and play defense. Pass selection is a skill. Player marking is a skill. Again, using rush as an example, if you're playing rush and, you know, 2 people are defending 1 person, that means there's 1 person open. You know, so that person is going unmarked. The ability to like see that, oh, that person's unmarked, and someone decides I'm going to position myself in front of them or near them so they don't just get an easy pass for a goal. That stuff is skill. Player marking is a skill. Pass selection is a skill. Shot selection. What is shot selection? It sounds the way it fucking sounds. It's very simplistic. Knowing what kind of shot to take in a given situation that can get you a goal. Unfortunately, this is a game where there's contextual shooting, which means you can take a shot that you want to take, but the game would change it to something else because it felt like in that situation, this was a better shot to take. For example, you'll try to take like a finesse shot, you hit the buttons to do a finesse shot, RB, you'll hit RB and B, then the game would do a low driven. You're like, that's not what I want to do, but the game did that because the game thought to itself, that would be a better shot to take. You'll try to do a finesse shot and it gets a Trivela. It's like, that's not what you want to do. The game did that because it's contextual and your player has the Trivela trait, so they will do contextual Trivelas even though you're not hitting the buttons to do a Trivela. So sometimes you don't do it on purpose, but there is a thing, it is a skill to know what kind of shot to take and what situation that you're in, what passes to take, what position, who to move on the field at a given time, when to do a left bumper run, when to do a right bumper callback. That's what skill is in this game. It's not just pressing a button and then scoring, because that's not hard to do. If it's easy to do, there's not skill. Skill literally is being able to do something that's harder to do and doing it 100% correctly, or as close as you can to being correct. But pacing down the wings and then doing a cutback isn't a skill. Doing a one-time through ball for a goal isn't a skill. Keepers in this game suck. You didn't outplay your opponent.
Out the window, okay? Because first of all, you're playing a game that's broken, right? Inconsistent gameplay, lag delay on the console, and then you have all these players where it's like you have to level them up like it's an MMO just to be able to do the most simple things ever, okay? Where the attack is being done for you, especially if you play this way. I play this game, I don't have a variable of skill in my head, right? I don't have a variable of, oh my goodness, I just destroyed this guy, because the way that this game plays out in general is garbage, okay? Let me explain to you. And you guys already know, for those of you guys that watched the past videos, you already know what I'm going to talk about, right? It's this attacking AI thing, right? And of course, I'm using a 4-2-1-3 because that was the one that most of the people use most of the years, right? If you score a goal based on push forward, come back, this is not skill based, okay? People play this game like, oh, I just destroyed this guy 5-0, brainwashed like crazy. Guys, you'll see me score, you'll see me win a game 5-0. It's irrelevant, bro. I'm just winning for the sake of it. It's irrelevant because the skill in this game is not utilizing tactics properly and seeing plays in advance to then attack forward. No, it's the same thing over and over and over again, okay? Let's just do it like this. Let's just do it like this, right? Especially because this is what most will do the entire game, right? Because if I play the Elite Division, it's these 5 core mechanics that people spam all the time because they're brain dead, and it's going to be this specifically, right? We're going to park the bus the entire game, and then we're just going to go for counterattacks, right? To these specific players right here. Okay, we're gonna go to these specific players.
That's exactly how the game's played right now. It's just literally park the bus and then play for a counterattack. Every game you get in, I don't know how it is in the lower divisions, but every game you get into is people just parking a freaking bus. It's just boring defensive, nonsense. That's not even like from their own skill. It's just a 4-2-1-3, it's just a 6-back. They're just sitting there parking the bus, and then the second they win the ball, counterattack because the formation allows them to get on attack very, very quickly and go for those one-time through balls or just use speed to pace down the freaking flames before your defense can even get into positions so you can get a counterattack goal.
Positions right here. We are going to attack forward, not cross the ball. We are going to transition backwards or transition backwards straight line. And by the time we do this transition backwards, we are going to have maybe a playmaker can that's going to be right here. And then our striker, our right winger, has already done that push forward comeback. And what has happened here is that the game, not you, okay, has created attacking space against the defender that is at an advantage. This goal right here is not skill based. This has been in the game for the new gen version forever, okay? Forever. You have removed direct passing, but you have not removed the soul of direct passing, okay? This is the goal that you will unfortunately score 80% of the times unless you use a formation like a 4-3-3 holding, where sometimes you get some really cool attacking AI out of your 2 center mids and then your wingers who have to be.
Hey, I played a 4-3-3 holding. I have a video talk about the 4-3 holding, but also I didn't pause it for that reason. I paused it because I want to mention the whole direct passing thing, and this is why most tactics you see have the word counter in the tactics, aka they're not using short passing or balance, or using counter, because counter basically is direct passing in a sense. Like it is the whole thought process is to constantly have your players just bombarding forward, and it works. People do make those videos, or they're not trying to tell you how to skillfully play the game. They're telling you the most efficient way to get wins. That's what, when it comes to like you watch those kind of tactic videos, they're not trying to, even when it comes to Deception, he'll tell you this too. His videos are trying to tell you how to get wins, not how to be a skillful player. So when he does a video that has counter in it, or he does videos that's a 4-2-1-3, he's not telling you how to skillfully play the game. He's telling you the most efficient way to play the meta and to win while being a meta rat. So that's playing the 4-2-1-3 or playing formations that aren't considered ratty, but if you put on counter, you know, you'll get as close as you can to the 4-2-1-3 without actually playing the 4-2-1-3, but it's still kind of, you know, 4-2-1-3 is just that much better than everybody else when it comes to like just being an outright disgusting formation because it's broken. But you know, generally when it comes to like counter, you're just sending people forward, and they kind of react in a direct passing way.
So you face this all the time. This is not a skill-based goal, okay? This is not a skill-based goal because unless the person is using a formation and he has the absolute high-tier meta players, because in this game you require them nowadays, right? Who has Intercept plus, who has Anticipate plus, who has, I don't know, Bruiser plus, Block plus, this game is garbage plus, whatever, right? These guys are going to score the same goal every single time because you need this 4-2-1-3, this 4-2-3-1, this 4-4-1-1. But again, the two center mids need to be like super meta for the 4-4-1-1 to like really work because that formation, I'm going to explain to you guys why because I've talked about this so many times, right? In this game, the reason why the CDMs are used the most is because they do not abide to that defensive wall that EA added, I think it was 3 years ago, where in this general area right here, the players no longer track back. The reason why people are using 70 depth is to force movement out of their players when the person comes on the counterattack, but especially to close the gap between the defenders and the midfielders to block out that constant cutback that every single person is going to go for, okay? Every single person, the most brain-dead way of attacking, okay? So this playstyle by itself is not skill-based. When people pretend like it is skill-based, you're brain dead. I have to be the guy to tell you because I'm scoring these goals in these reviews, and I know that they're brain dead, but the game is forcing you to do this most of the times unless you use your formations. That's why when I do reviews sometimes, I have to switch to like a 4-3-3 holding because when you have your center mids on Playmaker Plus, and I think they're on attacker or free roam or something like that, right? I can score like more authentic opportunities, but most of the opportunities that would come up is doing this exact same brain dead thing of going forward and coming back because when you do this, and it's funny because I'm telling you guys this in the rants video, and you're probably going to do this more in the game because you guys are so addicted to your little rewards when the gameplay is so horrendous. You play this game like it's a mobile game, right? This cutback is so effective that I can stop the video there and that could be your skill right off the bat. You can hit the elite division just from that. Not from you understanding what tactic to use in the right position. Not you seeing a play in advance in your head, 3, 4, 5 passes in advance so that your player's AI can utilize space a certain way. No, it's just you doing this exact same thing all the time because EA likes to make a brain dead way of attacking this game because it makes the casual player base think that they're good. Scoring these garbage goals on a consistent basis and then doing the little rats in a game that's garbage. You're doing this in a game that's trash.
It's so true. It's so true. How many times you played against someone who scored a trash goal and they did a gritty and you're just like, eh. It's like it's so goofy because it looks goofy as hell. Like you do something that didn't require much skill, didn't require much effort. You're playing a formation that is like literally broken. Either you do a gritty. Like yeah, it's like one of the things that's again just using FPS games as part of my example. In games like Destiny, for example, there's emotes, and one of the things I always talk about is like you spam your emotes in Destiny if you get like a really nice kill or if you got like a multi kill, you don't freaking get a kill with what you're calling the 4 horsemen back when it was like it was still strong or like what was that linear fusion rifle called? I forgot what it was called. It was like broken for period in Destiny. You don't get like 1 kill with that linear fusion rifle and then hit a freaking emote. Like you didn't do anything. If you're abusing mechanics, you didn't do anything warranting celebration that's meant to mock. Because understand when it comes to the grid in particular, it's seen as a mocking formation. It's seen as like you're giving the finger to your opponent. Even when I do it, like I said all the time, I only do the gritty when I'm playing against rats and I want to just basically just give the finger to a rat. It's like, haha, you are a rat, so here's a gritty. I don't gritty when it's like just a basic ass freaking goal. Most of my goals actually I end up freaking just skipping celebration in general. Like most of my goals I skip celebration because who cares? I might do like interest because it's new and I want to see it because it's new. But most times, or if it's like someone who has like a default, I'll do default celebrations because they're cool. Like the whole Sue, it's cool. The Messi point to the finger to Lexi at the bow is cool. When it comes to like the gritty in particular, it's like if I'm playing against a rat, I'm hitting a gritty because it's like you a bitch. So here's a gritty.
My friend. I don't care about celebrations in the game. It's just that for me, when I play this game, when people are sending messages, like if I beat someone 4-1 or whatever it is, right? And people are sending me messages, like the worst for me, honestly, like when I play this game is like this video's gonna be so long. The worst for me when I play this game, bro, is when I face a full meta rat who uses, and these are all garbage mechanics. I actually love swimming in your tears when they nerf an absolute trash mechanic, but when they keep it in the game, it makes them brain dead because some of you guys will come to the Instagram DMs and be like, oh, this mechanic was nerfed because you talked about it, and now I can't attack. You can't attack because you're brain dead because you don't play football, guys. Listen to.
And we're pausing early again here. This reminds me of a situation. I think it was. I don't know if it was in Nate for the College chat or Boris's chat. This is back when the 95 depth nerf happened. It's not a real nerf. All they did was make it to where the game doesn't automatically apply team press, so you gotta do it manually. But the depth itself, still does what it needs to do. But in general, when the nerf first happened and everyone's kind of like reacting to it, there was someone who commented, "It's like it's dumb they nerfed that because now it's the only way I can get my players to move." That was his thought process on like them nerfing 95 depth. It's like 95 depth is the only way he can get his players to move, and then now he can't play the game because his players won't move. And it's like, if you can say that mentally and not understand that that's a skill issue, that you can't play the game because you can't play 95 depth, that's a skill issue. Because there's a lot of people who play this game who never changed their depth at all, and they don't have that issue. People like this way back, he says he never changes his freaking depth. His players move. Need the foot account. You watch him play his gameplay. He has been playing on balanced all year. His players move. So it's a skill issue to say that my players won't move, so therefore I can't play this game anymore.
So I'm gonna tell you, man, every single time I've done a Ransplay over the course of the years, a lot of it was mainly because of inconsistent gameplay, but like I said, there was most games where their core mechanics were just complete trash. You know what type of game I want to be able to play, and for me to be like, for that spark to light up inside my head from an attacking and defensive perspective. I want you to take a guess. Without you guys, if you guys didn't watch this video, I want you to take a guess which game specifically I'm talking about. I'm talking about PSG versus Inter Milan. Okay, PSG. Do you guys remember us? Like, just to think about it. I'm not saying that don't have crosses in the video game because you need them. I get it, right? But just think about the way that PSG played in that game. It was the purest form of football you will ever see, because most of the attacking plays was just utilizing space a certain way, breaking out of pressure, and players' movements being the let me just get the frame. Not like an idiot, right? Actual movements where, like, the winger will start to do like a little movement where he'll do on the cut inside. You got the fullback over committing. The fullback makes a pass to the guy in the middle. The guy passes it forward because like the goal that what's his face scored, man. I think it was the last goal where Barcola made the pass to him. It was a young kid who scored his left foot to the near post and in. Like, just like passes like that, and then
they do what's his name, Malulu?
It was art. That's what I want to play in a video game. I want to play where I can see it in advance and score from that, right? Let's talk about the brain dead mechanics that I have to face every single time I do reviews in the higher divisions. Every single time I just face these. I'm sorry, I have to say it. These people and you guys that do this mechanic, you're brain dead, because EA does not remove the mechanics. So you're just going to do it all the time for some godforsaken reason, right? I have to face people that still to this day, because
the reason they do it is because it's easy. That's the general gist of why they do it. It's not because of anything other than it's easy to do and it gets results. This is like he said it himself. This is a results-based game. People only care about getting the best reward they possibly can and getting the win. So they're not going to do things that take skill. At least to them, they think it takes, like, to someone who's abusing mechanics, they think what they're doing is skillful, because they're delusional, they're idiots, and they're losers. They think what they're doing takes skill, even though they're just abusing a mechanic. And that doesn't matter what the mechanic is. If you're abusing a mechanic, that's usually what the thought process is that what they're doing is a skill, and that's it. When it comes to me, I say this a lot, that my goal is generally to play a prime Barcelona style of football, which is basically just passing the ball around a lot, tiki-taka, and kind of like out dribbling and out passing my opponent to get a goal, playing that heavy possession based Barcelona style. If what my opponent gives me is opening shot for a finesse shot, I'll take a finesse shot. Same thing goes like low dribbles. If that's the option that's there, it's the option I'm going to take. You don't really see me like abuse mechanics. Like, you don't really see me try to do like cutbacks for goals. If I do a cutback, more like a cutback pass, like let's say like I'll use his own board. Let's say I'm on a counter attack and I'm passing the ball around the midfield, and then I see someone on the right side. I'll do a ping pass to him, see how everyone lines up, and I might do a ping pass to a player who comes right here, because of the fact that I play on balance, because I play on short passing a lot of times. A lot of the times, my striker or one of my midfielders will come to this position next to the winger, and I'll pass the ball to them, to pass the ball to the person who's over here, and maybe pass the ball to a person over here, and then trying to get a goal on that way. It's very, very possession heavy, very passing heavy style that I play. Is it the most effective way to play? No, because it's way easier to just do what he's talking about. It's way easier to just run up here, cut back around here, goal. It's way easier to run up here, cut back here, low driven. It's way easier to be in the mid, like win a counterattack, do a through ball to the striker immediately, do a freaking power shot or a trivela or finesse shot. That's way easier. It's not easier to do all, like, it's also quicker to do all that stuff versus pass the ball around. But to me, as someone who's a Barcelona fan who grew up during that time, I want to recreate what I watched. And to me, that's what beautiful football looks like. So that's what I'm doing. It's not to say that I never freaking like do anything that would be considered a mechanic to abuse, because I do take finesse shots. But finesse shots are a mechanic to abuse, because if you do it multiple times, like I said, if you take 5 finesse shots a game, that's nothing. But if you take 10 finesse shots, it's like, okay, well, you're just trying to like just spam this one thing, So if you're trying to abuse something, that's when it gets ratty.
EA doesn't want to make a game where you actually have to use your brain to attack. They want to make a game where they're like, are you guys stupid? Okay, we're gonna let you score this opportunity because you're stupid. L1 speed boost, step over acceleration, manual goalkeeping inside the 18-yard box used to be a big one I used to be really annoyed with. What's their hotfix for it? Driven shot. Now if your attackers don't have driven shot, they're actually so annoying to use because
and those three things that he hates, and there's three things that people don't want to admit that is ratting things that need to be removed. None of people who I play who does the L1 speed boost or step over accelerations, in their head they're thinking this is so skillful to do, when in reality is a broken mechanic and you're abusing it. It needs to be out the game. And EA knows it needs to be out the game, but instead of just removing it, they just add other things to the game, to try to counteract it. Like you mentioned, low drivens being the thing that they added to try to counteract keeper movement. The solution to keeper movement is just to remove it from the game entirely when it comes to player control. One of my ideas that I mentioned to people when it comes to keeper movement is keeper movement, there should be 0 player interaction with moving the keeper. It should be all AI based, and it should be based on what role you choose for your keeper. If you play goalkeeper, like the role goalkeeper defend, that keeper should literally do what the description says. They just stay in front of their net and just defend the freaking net. They should not be doing rush outs, things like that. But if they play sweeper keeper, that's when the AI should dictate on its own, not by you pressing a button or you trying to control them. That's when the AI should decide to do things like rush outs and things like that a sweeper keeper IRL would naturally freaking do. The player should not have any control over the keeper. And if they did this would actually make there be way more incentive for the player to choose between goalkeeper and sleeper keeper. Right now, when it comes to roles, most people just have on goalkeeper because it's the default and who cares. Most people aren't playing sleeper keeper because they don't see a reason to change to it, because you can play on goalkeeper, have that lockdown defense, and then manually move your keeper. You shouldn't be able to move your keeper manually. It's a bailout mechanic. It ruins competitive integrity. It takes 0 freaking skill. And it also, because of how certain things work when it comes to delays, you can't even do things like back in the day, especially when it came to F24. So moving keeper, you just do a ball roll and then that shot. Ball roll, then do just a regular ass freaking shot, or just freaking do a chip shot. But now, because of of delay and because of the speed of player keeper movement, you can try to do those things. If you're playing against a good player, they'll time the movement at the right time to where you can't really react to it at all. A bad player who's moving keeper, you'll still be able to freaking do those things like chip shots and whatnot, because they're bad. They'll move the keeper too quickly. So these mechanics only need to go. And if you move your keeper, if you do the accelerations, if you do speed boosts, you're not a good player, you're just a mechanic abuser.
Having to take a touch, shoot the ball, and then having to time it. And even if you time the right direction because you move the goalie to the left and then you went to the right, you could still miss. So they're like, oh, this mechanic is so trash, we gotta add driven shots, right? Driven shots, it's important to have in a video game, but all shots should be relevant for different situations. But this game has a driven shot frenzy right now, because driven shot is the most consistent way of scoring, especially if the guy uses manual goalkeeping, because you can look at his goalkeeper, take a shot, and first of all, the shot will come off way quicker, and you don't have to green it most of the times. So you'll score. Driven shot, it's so crazy because if someone gets the angle, even though most of the times it's a cutback, right? If someone gets the angle and they hit a driven shot, it's because they deserve that angle most of the times. There are some angles where it's okay, it's a little bit crazy. But if they created a certain space and they scored it, I'm like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have it in the game because, manual goalkeeping is one of the... What was the other things that I hate with the passion? It's L1 speed boost, step over acceleration, player lock. Player lock should not be in this game. Player lock is... guys, I can't... When I have arguments about these mechanics, oh my goodness gracious, I lose brain cells, man. I know people are brainwashed for a fact. The game's attacking AI just needs to be good, and you need to think in the moments, not let me use a player lock so that I can push this guy to the near post and shoot when I'm inside the 18-yard box in the side position, and I actually have to use one of those guys because they're incapable of doing it themselves. Oh, let me do a player lock so that this guy that already did the push forward, I can push him back now. Bro, the player's attacking AI just needs to be good. Guys, we didn't need attacking AI. We didn't need player lock back in the day because, again, we have regressed as the years have gone by. We didn't need it back in the day because the players would just understand the space. Guys, back in the day, sorry, let me just change the screen because I'm literally gonna go blind right now. Back in the day, guys, right? And you guys remember this because I did it and multiple people did it who are gameplay guys, right? You used to be able to go into a foot draft, right? You used to set your team all on default, all on balance, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. Use basic instructions for 4-1-2-2, a 4-2-3-1. Maybe you want your striker to get in behind. Maybe you want both your fullbacks to stay back. Maybe you want both your CDMs to stay back, but your fullbacks on balance. So very basic tactics. Those basic tactics, they're not basic tactics because what you have now is basic tactics. It's tactics made for the brain dead people. That's what it is. You've created a system that's complete trash, right? These tactics back in the day, your players would move significantly better than for that. That's why the game died so quickly from a gameplay, SBC, and then game mode's perspective, because it was so horrible. Because you were just playing this attacking AI that was just non-existent. It was the most linear piece of garbage you'll ever see in your entire life. At the point where, in the past, I've even said, let's just delete the new gen version of the game and go back to the old gen because you guys are never going to get this right. Because this movement sucks. The old gen that exists right now, I guarantee you is a better game than what this new gen is. Make the old gen look better on a graphical level and don't separate your community and just let people play in the old gen version, because the new gen version, buddy, all this gimmick stuff that you guys come up with the way that you do your roles, your tactics, the way that most people play, the way that the attacking AI just doesn't move a certain way, it's probably worse than the old gen version now because of them creating only inside forwards for wingers or only wingers, no winger and inside forward. They're capable of doing that. Like, I don't understand. 95% of the SBC players were complete trash. You see this card right here? Before they released these new cards that came out, this card was better than 95% of the attackers this year. Just this guy. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. I'm not joking. This guy right here is better than most of the attackers. Then you have, players that, I mean, they're super cheap, but they're super cheap because this game is where it's at right now, right? You have a card like Mateo. She's better than probably all of them. She's better than, I would say, 98%.
He's calling her better than all these people. And what's funny? I had a conversation with some of the FC bros about, because one of them had did an Evo, the new Evo, that 500k Evo on Sam Kerr. This isn't a shot. This isn't anything like that. Just mentioning it. And I say that Clara is better. In Inception, he's like, she's, one of the best strikers in the game, better than 98% of strikers in the game. So let me pull this up real quick. So back when I, was telling them, I never shared this with them because I was like, who cares? But I kept the pictures. So this is a comparison of this card, which is 30k, and the Buddies Evo of Sam Kerr for 500k, and the card itself is I think like 20k or 30k. So you'll be spending 530k if you don't already have the Sam Kerr card. If you already have Sam Kerr card, just spend 500k, make a card that's worse than a card that's, as you saw, 30k. That card 30k. And as Inception is trying to tell you, she is one of the best strikers in the game, like top 5, one of the best strikers in the game. So what makes sense to to do 500k for that or 30k for this? The numbers don't lie. Better pace, better shooting, better passing, better dribbling. Well, dribbling's the same. Better defending, physicals less, playstyles wise. She has press proven, first touch, rapid and low driven, aerial on a player who's not really that tall, and science was pretty good. Then low driven. Like the playstyles, are very meta. You have like the actual individual stats, not even close. Total stats 541, 506. 2,583 for in-game stats, 2,425. It's literally not even close. It's not even close. And even it's not even like the only one I did. So I did one with that one, and I did one with me and Ham. Ham is like 1.2 million, and because she's rare, but again, it's not even close. It's more close between Ham and Kerr than with Clara and Kerr. Clara is just miles ahead when it comes to like the actual stats. Like that's a big jump when it comes to like the total stats and the in-game stats. Whereas like this is closer. It's only like a plus 11. And like when you look at it again, better pace, better shooting, better passing, one less dribbling, better defending. Physical. You can throw on a finesse shot to me and Ham through the season pass, and she will have 4 playstyle pluses. And when it comes to like the stats, 517, 506, 2498. 2425s. It's not close, and Ham is an icon who's rare. So the 1.2 million that she costs, this card used to cost 3 million back when I first got it, but now because of the market being what it is now 1.2. But my general point is people are spending 500k not just for like Sam Kerr, but for like other cards. When there's better cards on the market, you can save your coin and just go out and buy a better card than what you'll be making out of that Evo, which is why I want to do the Evo. Remember, to my live stream, another homie was like, who am I going to put to the Evo? And I was like, probably nobody. Because there's no one who I have where it makes sense to spend 500k to give them that boost. Because most of my best players already have 4 playstyles. If I put them who are 94 rated or lower into that Evo, I'm just giving them the boost to their stats. Like a +1 for Alice Morgan and a +4 to her shooting. +1 her pace, +4 her shooting. Is that worth 500k to give Alice Morgan a +4 to her shooting? Not really. Because again, because the way this game works, in about a week or two, another Evo will come out that gives a +4 to shooting. That'll be like 70k. So you'll save money. Because you're not getting the playstyles. The playstyles dictate why that Evo costs as much as it does, because it's given 4 playstyles. So if you get into someone who already has playstyles, you're not really gaining what you would if it was like a player who doesn't have any playstyles or has like 1 playstyle and things like that. So just generally, it's like, there's better cards on the market, and people are naive and dumb and think low price equals bad card. That's not how that works. Price is dictated by how common the card is. And during Ultimate Tots, this card was common as hell to pack. But during actual, League Tots, this card was very, very expensive. The market doesn't dictate what's good or what's bad. It dictates just rarity. You know, it's a common card to be able to get. And since there was so many on the market during Alton Tots, the price isn't going back up now that we're in a new promo, because there's so many on the market in general, because some people have packed the card, so it can't go back up until that supply, you know, just runs out. Basic economics. But general, what point we prove it is, like, you know, what is the best cards in the game that most people don't know about, because what their brain is just based on the meta. Their brain's based on what costs a lot and what's popular. You know, so like Mbappe's and Ronaldo's, things like that.
And you release SPCs, they're like 90k. Like the way you guys killed off your game is impressive, to be honest. For being the two most sought after games for console, like the way you guys made this game this year is impressive, man. It's impressive how dumb you are. Dumb, but you still make your money, because this game, all this stuff I'm talking about, is irrelevant nowadays. You guys don't care about this stuff. You guys don't care. Where does the audience come from? It's you opening store packs with FIFA points or coins in a game that's broken. The gameplay is horrible, but let's give them FIFA points. You know, I truly felt that way for all the other games, but for this game specifically, I feel it even more. There's no way, if you guys play on the original PS5, because I don't know about the Xbox, I don't know about the PS5 Pro, there's no way that you guys play on the original PlayStation, and then you guys play this game, you're like, I need to give them FIFA points. Because, I don't know, at this point, if they don't fix inconsistent gameplay, it's got to be like manipulation at its finest, where it's like, they like to keep the gameplay that way, because for some reason, people are playing this game, and they're just like, for them, it's always scripting, handicap momentum, not the fact that the game's coding, not the servers, the coding actually in the game that affects the offline as well, is literally screwing it, but no, it's all good, it's all scripting, handicap momentum, guys. If you go to the offline and you do the actual test, it's the same. I'm so tired of saying the same thing over and over again. This is why I don't make these videos. This is why I don't care, right? Because this game is literally made for brain dead people. It is. Because the way that you have done your custom tactics, your formations, the way that you have done evolutions, you kill off most of your transfer market cards, right? And the way that you make your tactical system, and the way that people, the way that everybody, almost everybody plays, if I get Division 1 and up, because, you know, we're putting into consideration the season resets, right? Division 1 and up, right? It's all the same thing. Look at me. I play people who are gameplay mechanical users, and they don't use anything else. Oh my God. I know that you guys are going to say in the comment section, because this is really related to the video. Oh my, I totally forgot. Because I always had 5 in my head. Now I'm like, it was bothering me. I'm like, what's the other mechanic? Because I don't have notes, right? Guys, the Trivellas. We forgot about the Trivellas. Guys, let's do an end of season patch, but we're gonna keep Trivellas. We're gonna keep L1 speed boost. We're gonna keep step over acceleration. Brother, come on, man. Like, you guys play, you know, EA guys, you guys play this game. There's no way that you guys play. Do you guys play against these guys in the elite?
Part of the issues with Trivellas is just the reaction the keeper has. The keeper seems to struggle to like react to what a Trivella is. Like, you ever look at what your keeper does when someone does a Trivella, is silly. Like, they kind of react the same way where IRL a keeper will react to like someone taking a shot from like the middle of the field. You ever seen like a middle of the field shot because someone like they notices that, oh, the keeper is, you know, off their line by a lot. Like, the keeper is damn near, you know, on the outside of the freaking box. I can freaking blast this ball and right to the freaking net. And so you see the keeper noticing, like, oh shit, they're running back to try to, like, you know, to stop it. That's how this game does Trivellas. So someone does like an outside the box Trivella, and the keeper reacts as if in that same kind of way, where it's like a desperation, oh no, and it's like it looks goofy. It just looks goofy, and it's also too consistent. The issue with Trivellas is the fact that that's too consistent, and that the keepers just simply just cannot like behave properly to a Trivella, which is why they're considered to be, you know, broken and, you know, ratty. Is more so because just how they work and how the keeper responds to a Trivella happening.
Division, unless you're all equally brain dead and you're like, oh, I like these mechanics. Oh, I like that none of these guys are doing an actual advanced attacking play to score a goal against me. I like that every single goal that I score is the game playing for me from that cutback meta specifically, because the game is opening up 4 or 5 different spaces for you at the same time because of that.
I'll also say this, I just thought about it. They are changing up how Trivellas work in the next game. Like, they're not even like going, I think they're basically like renaming it and going to like retune what it does. But, you know, we'll see when S26, you know, gets shown off what they actually mean when it comes to like how they're reworking Trivellas.
That they're doing themselves, not my striker's on advanced forward. He comes close into the midfielder, lays off the ball. I lay the ball off to another midfielder, but my striker who initially started the play is now utilizing empty space a certain way so I can make the pass to him. No, that's not how you're thinking. That's not how you're thinking. How am I going to go into the side position right now and work a cutback angle to activate my attacking AI? How am I going to defend for my life, not play with my brain cells whatsoever, and just wait for that counterattack to my left winger or right winger, run all the way, cut back, goal? This guy is using wingers that actually attack. I'm going to swim in his tears of my counterattacks. I'm only speaking from a perspective of evolutions being garbage because they're not meta enough. Mateo, if they release any attacker evolution, any of these ones that you pay 200k for, 100k for, none of them will touch this card. None of them will touch this card, even if they have inside forward plus.
That's it. Like, I'm telling you, he must make this video before the 500k Evo came out, because he's talking about if they come out with an Evo that's 200k or more, he can't touch this card, and it just shows you that these 500k Evos do not touch this card. I'm guessing like, if he would have waited a little longer to make this video and talk 500k Evo, he'd probably be like, bro, what the actual fuck? You'll spend 500K to make a card worse than that's not even as good as 30K card.
Plus, when she only has an inside forward plus for the right mid position, they still won't touch her. That's why I know, man. It's the way that they formatted this game this year, like for everything, like because it's pretty obvious from this end game patch where they did none of the actual proper fixes, nothing new with attacking AI, because that's going to be their new and innovating thing for the next year version of the game. When every single version you guys have made for the new gen version is trash, you are lucky you even made that patch that made your game 25%, 30% more playable for the attacking AI. Because before that, I don't know what you guys are doing at the studios, man. And that's only 20-30%. Your game still sucks because it's just me facing the same person that does not do anything unique whatsoever. Sometimes, guys, I get that spark. I get that spark that goes up a little bit because sometimes I'll score nice. Well, I did it sometimes in the Modric review because that was a 4-3-3 holding. That's the one formation I can use authentic AI-wise that will actually score some pretty cool opportunities sometimes. Not a cutback, like more like side-to-side play from like 2 or 3 of them. I think it was just 2 of the goals, right? Because a lot of them were again, like just a cutback. Because, guys, this is how it works for me when I play this game, right? Because I only play this game content creation nowadays, right? When I'm playing this game and I score those goals, my brain cells are going lower and lower. My energy is being depleted. Do you guys know what happens when I do these videos for player reviews and evolutions? You ever see me do an evolution video and then I have to cut halfway into it, like 7 minutes into it? I literally have to go and take a nap. Because I need to replenish my brain cells talking about players that I know are not meta enough in a game that is probably the most meta when it comes to what you need on a card to do basic things. Brother, if I got Rafinha or Lamine Yamal, they might as well be the same guy, to be honest with you. Players don't feel unique. This game is not unique. The players you play are not unique. So everything I'm talking about is irrelevant. Because this game is, what I mentioned in the past and what I thought it was going to go into more and more as the years have progressed, is a glorified mobile game that only lasts for a year. People unlock cards. They do all this stuff for evolutions just to look at their team and not play the game. You guys know when I do player reviews, I have to maintain a lower division for division rivals on some of the accounts. Some of them. Some of the other ones, I do the people a favor sometimes, try to get them to the elite division, so that they can get the rewards for that. Because it's actually helpful for me because of tactics, and then, but maybe that's what you did, right? Because there's no way that you go home and then you actually grind your accounts like a normal, because the menu grind is crazy, right? Menu grind more than actually playing the game. That alone, right? But there's just no chance. There's no chance that you face a guy that does a Trivela, which is such a valueless goal, for someone that does not have a Trivela plus, for someone who's not Quaresma, Modric, or Lamine Yamal, pretty much, Pretty much. Quaresma more specifically because he actually scored them. Everyone's Quaresma in this game. Everyone. I can have a Camavinga that's a rare gold card that has 65 finishing, 60 shot power. If I green time my Trivela, I'll score with him against the team that sees a goalkeeper. The way that ball travels and the way that the goalie reacts to it. Oh, but we need a counter to someone like playing Park the Bus. We need a counter. What you guys want counters for is always brain dead stuff, man. Always. It's never we need a counter for we need attacking AI to move a certain way like this. No, we want this. We want this. We want whatever's. What's the way I'm gonna use the least amount of brain cells? I want this. This is what I want. I don't want this.
And that is why these games are designed with their game. They're designed. Video game publishers and marketing teams, they hire psychologists to pinpoint how people behave, and those psychologists tell them what would be the most efficient way to do certain things in their game to get people to be addicted and to get people to just constantly freaking play, because people are results based. They're not freaking, when you say results based, they want the win, they want the reward. They don't care how they get it. They don't care about looking good doing it. They don't care about looking impressive doing it. They don't care about looking skillful doing it. They just want the result. And so these psychologists is telling these developers, like, hey, just make the game simple and easy. The easier the game, the bigger your reach is. A hard game has a low reach. That's why, like, back in the day, it wasn't until Dark Souls 3 where Dark Souls became mainstream. Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls were, they had a cult following. Like, there wasn't popular games people talked about because they were so hard, and hard games equals having a low player base. Even when it comes to like the OG hard game for a lot of people was Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden was Dark Souls for Dark Souls. And this game's from like Sega Genesis and the NES are also hard, but just more like a recent thing. Ninja Gaiden was like the hard game. But again, there's not a lot. Like there's a good number of people, but it's not like a massive market of Ninja Gaiden fans because the game was hard. So when games got easier, that's when they get popular. Dark Souls 3 was easier than Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. And it also came out during the age of like live streaming, so people were playing it so much where it got popular. Then you look at something like Elden Ring, which is again an easier game. I'm not saying like it's easy, but it's an easier game. It had a bigger reach because more people are playing because it's an easier game, is more accessible. The FPS games that take a lot of skill, people tend to avoid in favor of playing the games that take no skill at all, or just it's easier to play. What's most popular FPS games? Apex, Call of Duty, Fortnite. And if you're good at those games, I'm not saying you're not good at the game, because a good player is a good player regardless. You can play Apex and be good, and go play another FPS game and still be good because you have mechanical skill. But those games are designed to be casual. Games are designed to be easy. Games are designed to be Twitch shooters. They're meant to be accessible to a larger audience of people and be easier because they want more people playing the game. The easier the game is, the more people you can have playing it. Versus looking at something like, you know, Armor 3 or, you know, the older Battlefield games and, you know, Halo 2, Halo 3, Gears of War, you know, Rainbow Six Siege, you know, Counter-Strike. Those games don't have as big of an audience as a Call of Duty, Apex, or Fortnite because those games aren't as easy as those games are. The same thing comes to like sport games. The easier a sport game is, the more people are going to play your game.
Because I just want to get my rewards and then just stare at them. I want to get my rewards and then I want to do the same every single game.
And that right there, the whole point of me mentioning that because him doing like this, that's just easier to do. For a lot of people, it's easier to do that. There's been times where I'll say it in my videos, was like, I work my ass off to get a goal, and then my opponent will score a goal that they did nothing to get. And I'll still win the game, but it's still like one of the, like I'll win 5-1. And I'm still bitching about that one goal of he got that goal he didn't deserve. He did absolutely freaking nothing because this game's just trash. And I got 5 goals to work my ass off for it. It's like I don't have to work my ass off for the goals. I know I can do the exact same thing that you know, I can do the exact same freaking thing and, you know, get the goal. But like, just my brain wants to play the possession base, passing the ball around, dribbling a lot, you know, doing like, you know, body feints and dribble moves to get around my opponent. My brain wants to do that. My brain wants to do the more effort to get a goal, not because it makes the video look impressive. I just like looking at it. It's for me personally, I enjoy looking like the last video that I did where like I'm getting those goals with Grant Hansen. My brain wants to see that because it just looks cool. You know, it looks cool watching her outplay someone. You know, it looks cool doing a tiki-taka style play. You know, that looks cool to me. It doesn't look cool if I run up the freaking flames with Grant Hansen and then, you know, go inside the box with her and then just do a cutback to, you know, Clara Mateo or cut back to Endrick. You know, like imagine doing that, you know, that thing with those two players, those players, and all the end result of it is I just do a one-time pass across the keeper because the keeper can't stop it because this game's AI is dumb and the defense is ass and I'm marking that person. And then it's just like injured over here, tap in. That's not fun to me. It's way more fun to just watch, you know, the tiki-taka play style and score from that, or to just out dribble someone and score from that.
I get too passionate when I do these videos because, like, honestly, like I think people are brainwashed. I genuinely believe this because when I play this game, I sit there sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. No one talks about inconsistent gameplay. Nobody talks about how, well, not nobody, because I think people do it more often nowadays, right? But it's just a brain dead game. It is. I don't know. The whole system of like just them doing inside forward winger and wide playmaker. Like I can stop it there. You know what I'm saying? A winger does not only do one of the 3 things. EA. It's like, oh, their logic is like, oh, we want this guy to be the inside forward that goes on the inside so that we can have the winger that actually pushes forward. You know, sometimes they both push forward. I haven't done a custom tactic review in a while because most of these meta ones, these plays, I'm going to lose brain cells. That's why I try to find like some cool ones sometimes, you know? Like I did 4-2-3-1, I still had to put the meta one in there, but I actually found like a fun one, you know? It had wing back on the fullbacks. Yeah, it's going to be easier for your players to counterattack against you, but brother, I had to do it. I was like, oh, I need to find something, man, because these plays of me cutting back, having the playmaker on the cam, and then the cam makes this pass to the striker because he's already come back from the transition to push forward, come back. Like, they're not skill-based goals. These goals make me lose brain cells. And this is why I know that people that play this game on a consistent level, this is how I know they're brain dead, because the fact that you're doing this for free is crazy to me, man. I can't remember the last time I conceded a goal where I was like, oh my god, an actual attacking play. Guys, sometimes I score an actual attacking play. You guys watch the tactic videos, okay? Sometimes I do 20%, because again, the cutback, I can't fully blame. Guys, when I'm calling you brain dead, I'm also calling myself brain dead when I am playing the game, because that cutback goal makes you brain dead, okay? That's why my energy level goes like this. I'm like, this is me the whole time. Just do the content, just do it, just score this absolutely garbage goal that takes no skill because the game is literally playing for you, and then just do the video and call it. So for me, I like football a lot. I love it, to be honest. I would like to play a game where I can play like PSG all the time, where I want to score a goal like that first goal, where it was literally art to look at, where I opened my mouth and I was like, what did I just see? I haven't seen a goal like that in I don't even know how long. That's like when Arsenal scored that goal. I forget what it was, Jack Wilshere, where Giroud like flicks it to him, and I think Jack Wilshere's the one that like, or it was Ramsey or something like that. Or like Barcelona back in the day when Xavi and Iniesta and Busquets were in the midfield, where they scored the dirtiest goals. Stuff like that, man. That's where it clicks for me, you know, in a video game world. That's where it's not brain dead, you know? But I can't wait, man. You know, hopefully in the future, if they ever nerf these mechanics, I can't wait to catch a DM. Well, it's because of you that they nerfed L1 speed boost. I cannot wait, so I can swim in your tears. Because I do it one time for a review. Oh, but I've seen you do it in the review. Yeah, because these guys, they're at the things. Inception, bro. Like, how can you review Thierry Henry on a lengthy and you don't do 1 speed boost with him? Because I hate that mechanic with a passion. But I have to do it because he's gonna be like, oh, the whole point of unlocking this Thierry Henry is a speed boost. And
Kind of think about that. It kind of reminds me of when I did I think I did a review for John's Tier. And I think it was it Foot Fantasy? It was Future Stars. I think it was Future Stars. It didn't be Future Stars. I don't know what it was. Might have been for birthday. I don't remember. But there was an Evo that came out that could have gave her an extra speed play style. So she would have had both quick step plus and freaking rapid plus. And someone had comment and asked me, why I didn't do that Evo and would I be interested in like doing on another account. And I'm like, why? He's like, he feels like the speed boost on it and how fast she is would be crazy. I'm like, I don't do that. Like, you don't ever see me do a speed boost, because I don't really want to do these mechanic abuse things, and you'll hear me complain about my players should be able to hit this hole quicker than they do. And I know people who hear me say that probably will be like, well, if you speed boost, they will hit that. I shouldn't need to abuse a mechanic for my players to do a basic thing that they should be able to do because they're faster than a freaking center back. If there's a hole, my attacking players should be able to hit that hole without me having to spam a broken mechanic for them to hit that hole. I played sports growing up, mostly play football. I play running back. One thing about when it comes to like running backs and how we can able to like get big yard gains, it's how it's in the NFL, college, high school, whatever, is when your offensive line gives you a hole to hit and you are good enough at reading, the field and good enough at, being elusive where you acknowledge that hole and you hit it. And that's how you get that big yard gain. In this game, you can't do that without speed boosting because one, the defenders move too quickly because this game is ass and wants to do whatever it can to help the player who played bad defense, be able to like defend themselves, and at the same time, your player somehow just doesn't move quick enough without the speed boost to hit that hole. And even with me knowing that, I still won't do the speed boost because I don't want to abuse a mechanic that I think shouldn't be in the game.
Inception did do it one time. The player review channel. Shout out to you guys that respond to some of these guys sometimes. I respect it, but yeah, nice podcast discussion. What is this video? Now we're 30 minutes long, just rambling. There you go. There's your rant video. I think this game's trash. I think EA as a company sucks. I think that the way that they try to manipulate people into spending more money in the game is trash, and it kind of backfired on them this year, but it still does well because the main content to post on this game is to do share plays from people's store packs. GG's. Welcome to the best mobile game of all time. Have a good day, guys. But you still willingly play this game. I don't fully blame you, but the rest of these mechanics that I hate with a passion that you willingly do, I know for a fact that your brain cells are all the way down there if you're willingly doing that for free. Because those are mechanics that make me lose brain cells every time I play it. But for me, it's like, well, I don't use any of them. I don't use step over acceleration. L1 speed boost, you're lucky just for the sake of the review. And then player locks, no chance. Because I don't lose brain cells. My players should be able to move, not you doing a hotfix because your attacking AI used to be garbage. You just need to make your attacking AI good, not adding. I don't want to continue. You guys know. That's it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your evening. Whenever it is you guys watch this. If this.
All right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary individuals, that is it for this long video. Like I said, I don't know how long it's going to be when it comes to like me editing it down and things like that. It'll probably still be freaking long because I talk a lot. That's why I do the reaction, because I don't want to like make a long post in his comment section that won't get freaking read and there'll be like 10 people who are just like too long, didn't read. I'm not sure they just make a video myself and give my 2 cents. I'm very similar to Inception in a lot of ways, which is a lot, because like how my approach is to like wanting to play, a real football game versus, like he said himself, he does certain things that are ready for the video because it's the meta and y'all are meta rats and you're going to want to see how the meta plays and how meta play styles work. But he doesn't want to do it, but he does it because this is his job. But for the most part, I agree with a lot of things that he said, and I think most people would agree with what he said. But the thing about this community, and mentions in my Discord, is that this community are a lot of people who are on the DL, the down low, and not down low isn't like because generally those who don't know the word DL, down low, is something that refers to someone who is secretly into men, who's a man. But in this context, what I more so mean is people who are secretly doing all these mechanic abuse things and they're doing all the things that he's complaining about, but acting like they're on his side. There's a lot of those people. There's a lot of those people who are like, they're like, yeah, Inception, you're so correct. I love this video. And then like in actual gameplay, they're doing all the things he's complaining about. That's why I'm gonna say people in this community are on the down low. But great video as always. The first link in the description below will be in this video. So go watch the full video if you want to, because I said there's some parts of this that are gonna be edited out. So if you want to see the full in its full entirety without the times to speed up, go watch his video. Leave him a like and things of that nature. But for me, I'm going to go, chill for a bit, finish watching, the Russo and Tune podcast. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Be boys in Archer. I'm out of here. Deuces.